Why do some people achieve massive success while others struggle to change the smallest habits? It's a question that haunts us, usually around New Year's when we promise ourselves this time will be different. But more often than not, we end up right back where we started. The answer, according to author James Clear, isn't found in massive revolutionary change. It's found in the small, almost invisible choices we make every day. His book, Atomic Habits, is built on a simple, powerful idea. Tiny, consistent actions are what compound into life-changing results. Think of it like this. Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas. The first brushstroke? Barely noticeable. Add another and another. Still, it looks like nothing more than random lines of color. Insignificant, right? But over days, weeks, and months, those strokes layer together. Slowly, what was once empty space transforms into a landscape, a portrait, a masterpiece. Habits work the same way. Each small action you take daily seems meaningless in the moment, but given enough time, those strokes create the picture of your entire life. We overestimate the importance of one big moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. The math is staggering. If you get just 1% better each day for a year, you'll end up nearly 38 times better by the time you're done. But if you get 1% worse each day, you'll decline down to nearly zero. This is the power of compounding. Success isn't a once-in-a-lifetime transformation. It's the product of daily habits. But if that's true, why does it feel so hard in the beginning? Because we expect our progress to be a straight line. We put in the effort, and when we don't see immediate results, we get frustrated. James Clear calls this the valley of disappointment. It's that period where you've been working hard, but you can't see any tangible reward for your effort. This is where most people give up, slipping back into their old routines, not realizing the most powerful outcomes are delayed. The secret isn't to find more motivation or to set bigger goals. It's to focus on your systems. The goal is the result you want. The system is the process that leads to it. And here's the key. The real foundation of change isn't in your outcomes or even your processes. It's in your identity. Most of us try to change from the outside in. We focus on what we want to achieve. But the most effective change happens from the inside out. It starts with who we want to become. The goal isn't just to run a marathon, it's to become a runner. The goal isn't to write a book, it's to become a writer. When you start focusing on your identity, the behavior change follows naturally. Every action you take becomes a vote for the type of person you wish to be. Every time you go for a workout, you are casting a vote for I am an athlete. And this is where the title Atomic Habits comes from. The word atomic has two meanings. First, it refers to a tiny, indivisible unit, an incredibly small thing. But second, it refers to the source of immense power and energy. Just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. They are the small routines that accumulate and build a new identity, one vote at a time. So if these small habits are so powerful, driven by these deep-seated votes for who we want to be, how exactly can we design them to work for us instead of against us? James Clear breaks this down into 4 simple, practical laws of behavior change. Think of them as the blueprint for building better habits, or breaking bad ones. But before we dive into the laws themselves, we need to peek under the hood of your daily life. Because every habit, good or bad, follows the same invisible pattern. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, your day is a chain of tiny autopilot moves, each one nudging you toward or away from the person you want to be. These are your habits. And if you want to change your life, you first have to understand the 4 stages that drive every single one of them. James Clear calls this the habit loop. It starts with a cue. This is the trigger. It can be a time of day, a location, or even an emotional state that tells your brain to go into autopilot. See a cookie jar, and suddenly your brain whispers, "You deserve a treat." Next comes the craving, the motivational force.
the actual desire for the change the habit will bring. This leads to the response, the habit itself, the action you take. And finally, the reward, the satisfying feeling that tells your brain, hey, this was good. Let's remember this loop for next time. Cue, craving, response, reward. That's the engine. Now, how do we build a better engine? Clear's first law of behavior change is simple. Make it obvious. You can't change what you aren't aware of. Think of an expert museum curator. They can spot a masterful counterfeit at a glance, even if they can't explain exactly why. Years of observing authentic art have trained their eye to see the invisible. Our goal is to become the curators of our own habits. We need to make our unconscious behaviors conscious. The best way to start is with a habit scorecard. List out your daily actions. Wake up. Stand in front of the fridge even though you're not hungry. Scroll social media. Make the bed. As you list them, rate each one. Is it positive, negative, or neutral for the person you want to become? Just observe. Don't change anything yet. Maybe you notice that scroll social media right after waking up gets a negative score, while make the bed is clearly positive. Suddenly you begin to notice the hidden script of your day. The cues are there, you've simply made the invisible visible. But awareness alone isn't enough, because knowing is not the same as doing. Once you have that awareness, you can be specific. This is where implementation intentions come in. Vague goals like, I'll exercise more, fail every time. But I will run at 7 a.m. in the park is hard to ignore. You need a time and a place. The formula is I will behavior at time in location. So instead of I'll plan my day better, it becomes I will plan tomorrow's priorities for 15 minutes at 6 p.m. at my kitchen table. Notice how concrete this feels? The vague wish becomes an unmissable appointment. You can supercharge this with habit stacking. Attach a new habit to one you already do automatically. The formula is after current habit, I will new habit. For example, after I pour my coffee, I will sit down and meditate for 1 minute. Or after I brush my teeth, I will do 5 minutes of stretching. And here's the magic. One small stack becomes a ritual. Pour coffee, meditate for a minute, jot down 3 priorities. Before long, you've redesigned your mornings. Your environment is the invisible hand that shapes your behavior. Motivation is a short-term battery. Environment design is a permanent power grid. If you want to achieve your goals, visualize them on a vision board you see every day, or use a goal tracking app with clear reminders. Design a world where the good habits are lit up like neon signs, impossible to ignore. And what about breaking bad habits? You just invert the law. Make it invisible. People with high self-control aren't heroes of willpower. They simply spend less time in tempting situations. If your kryptonite is late-night scrolling, don't fight it. Delete the app from your home screen or banish your phone to another room after 8 p.m. No cue, no craving, no loop. Destroying bad habits by removing their cues is powerful. But if you stop there, you're left with a void. And voids always fill themselves. The real mastery comes not just from removing, but replacing. High self-control isn't about battling temptation, it's about child-proofing your environment. Becoming aware of your habits is the first, most crucial step. Once you can see the cues all around you, you gain the power to redesign them. But seeing the cue is only half the battle. The real question is, how do you actually make yourself want to act on it? That requires the second law. Make it attractive. And here's where it gets fascinating. Attraction isn't about logic. It's about chemistry. Your brain runs on dopamine, the anticipation molecule. To understand how powerful this is, let's look at an extreme case. Picture a gambler, eyes locked on the spinning roulette wheel. Their heart is pounding, palms sweating. Now, when do you think their brain gets the biggest chemical hit? When the ball lands on their number and they win a pile of chips? Actually, no. Scientists have found that for a gambling addict, the dopamine spike happens right before they place the bet. It's the anticipation that gets them hooked, not the win itself. This is the secret behind James Clear's second law of behavior change. Make it attractive. Our brains are wired with what's called a dopamine-driven feedback loop. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure. It's about motivation. It's the chemical that tells your brain, hey, pay attention, this is important, do it again. And that surge doesn't happen when you get the reward, it happens when you expect the reward. It's the sight of the junk food, not the first bite. It's seeing the social media icon on your phone, not the notification itself. The craving is what drives the action. So, how do we turn dopamine from a trap into a tool? The first tool is called temptation bundling. You simply pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. Let's say you need to get on the treadmill, but you want to watch the new season of your favorite show. The rule: you can only watch that show while you're on the treadmill. You start craving the workout because it's linked to the entertainment you desire. The formula is simple. After I do the habit I need, I will do the habit I want. After I answer my work emails, I will check Instagram for 5 minutes. You're making the necessary task a gateway to a pleasurable one. Next, we leverage the power of the tribe. We are deeply influenced by the people around us. We unconsciously want to fit in. So if you want to make a habit attractive, join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If you want to read more, join a book club. Suddenly, reading isn't a chore. It's a ticket to social connection. If you want to get fit, surround yourself with active people. Their energy becomes contagious. Their standards become your standards. Neuroscientists call this mirror neurons at work. Your brain literally syncs with the group. The habit becomes attractive because it's what people like you do. And these strategies work because they tap into our primal motivators. Your brain is still running Stone Age software. It craves belonging to the tribe, winning approval, finding a mate, and reducing uncertainty. Modern habits are just new solutions to these old problems. Tinder is a solution for finding a partner. Instagram is a solution for social approval. Google is a solution for reducing uncertainty. Understanding this allows you to see why you're pulled towards certain behaviors. Finally, you can reprogram your brain just by changing your perspective. Instead of saying, I have to wake up early to exercise, reframe it. I get to wake up early to build energy for the day. Associate hard habits with their benefits. Fitness isn't fatigue, it's health. Saving money isn't a sacrifice, it's financial freedom. And you can do the reverse for bad habits. Make them unattractive. Focus on the benefits of avoiding them. Smoking isn't a stress reliever. It's the cause of bad breath and illness. Highlighting the downside makes the craving wither. Make habits irresistible, and your brain will start fighting for you, not against you. But what if the habit is attractive and you're surrounded by the right people, but you still can't seem to start? What if the biggest barrier isn't desire, but effort? That's where we find the next piece of the puzzle in law number 3, make it easy. This law is built on a simple truth. Humans follow the path of least resistance. We naturally choose the option that requires the least effort. So instead of resisting that instinct, design your habits around it. And here's why this matters. Every habit becomes easier the more you repeat it. Each repetition strengthens the neural circuits that make the behavior automatic. The most effective form of learning is practice, not planning. In other words, habit formation isn't about how much time has passed, but how many times you've actually done the thing. Set up your environment so the good choice is the easy choice. Want to go to the gym more? Don't pick one that's 20 minutes away. Pick one that's right on your way home. Want to start running in the mornings? Lay out your shoes and clothes the night before. Or keep your guitar in the middle of the room instead of tucked in its case. By the time you wake up or sit at your desk, half the decision is already made. Reduce friction, increase success. This is the essence of Law 3. Make it easy. But what about the big, intimidating goals that feel impossible to start? That's where the 2-minute rule comes in. Any habit can be scaled down into a 2-minute version. Read 30 books a year becomes read 1 page. Do yoga for 30 minutes becomes roll out your yoga mat. The goal isn't to achieve the outcome immediately. It's to master the art of showing up. These are gateway habits. You anchor the routine first, then you can build on it. The reverse is just as crucial for breaking bad habits. Increase the friction. Make it impractical. Want to watch less TV? Unplug it after each use and put the remote in a drawer in another room. Trying to stop mindlessly scrolling social media? Delete the apps from your phone. By adding even a small barrier, you make the bad habit just difficult enough that you'll pause and reconsider. Making a habit easy ensures you'll do it this time. But to ensure you do it again tomorrow, we need Law 4. Make it satisfying. Our brains evolved to prioritize immediate rewards. That's why bad habits are so tempting. The pleasure is instant, the cost is delayed. With good habits, it's the opposite. The cost is now, the reward is in the future. So the trick is to attach a dose of immediate gratification. The cardinal rule of behavior change is simple. What is immediately rewarded gets repeated. What is immediately punished gets avoided. So find a way to feel successful right away. After each workout, treat yourself to a delicious smoothie. It creates a satisfying end ritual that your brain links with the effort you just put in. Another powerful tool is visual progress. Put 2 jars on your desk. For every sales call you make, move a marble from the to-do jar to the done jar. It's a simple, tangible sign of your progress. This is why a habit tracker is so effective. Each day you perform your habit, you get to check a box. You create a streak. That visual chain becomes its own reward, and your new motivation is simple. Don't break the chain. Of course, life will eventually interrupt you. You'll have a bad day. You'll miss. The most important rule here is never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the beginning of a new bad habit. This is where an accountability partner can be a game changer. Knowing someone is watching makes the consequence of skipping more immediate. Or create a habit contract. Write it down. If you fail to stick to your promise, there's a penalty. Maybe you owe a friend $50. This makes the cost of breaking a habit immediate and painful, not a vague future regret. The 4 laws aren't tricks. They're the blueprint of human behavior. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. Do this, and your habits won't just last. They'll transform your life. And remember, the small choices you make today shape who you become tomorrow. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more life-changing insights.